Which one is it? There's way too many screens here now for this stuff. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Where's my camera? I still have to reset this camera position, so I don't know where I'm looking every now and then. I think I'm looking right here. Yes. Hi, everyone. Hi. Welcome to the post-game show. Man, we've got a... Welcome to the Pride of Detroit post-game show. We've got one hell of a matchup now set for Sunday night for all the marbles, but we'll get to that in a few days because we're going to talk about this game a little bit in post-game and break down more of the season in the Pride of Detroit. PODcast coming tomorrow, but let me get some thoughts up right now and crack some tasty beverages and talk about how the Lions improved to 14-2 on the season and finish with an undefeated road record in the regular season in 2024. 14-2, the first time the team has ever been 14 wins in a year. And now you have, I believe, 4 players on the Detroit Lions who have 1,000 yards from scrimmage, 1,000 yards or more from scrimmage. That's incredible. And to tap it all off, when we had in our battle of Jakes between Jake Moody and Jake Bates not only was the winner, but passed Jason Hanson as the all-time point scorer in a season from Jason Hanson's record set back in 2012. This was really a battle of everything. I know this meant a lot. I know there was a lot of consternation coming into this game about, will the Lions rest starters over a meaningless game? Are they really wanting to run themselves ragged when they only have 6 days before they play the Minnesota Vikings, not just for the NFC North title, which has become a fight down the stretch, but also the number 1 seed in the NFC. To that, I say that probably doesn't matter at all for the Detroit Lions. They want everything. They want it all. This was their 5th game with 40 points and 0 turnovers per ESPN stats on the screen in this game. They were out here and ready to go, and I don't think there is a point. This is the thing about it. I don't think that just because they played hard in this game means they're going to have problems for the next game. They could lose to the Minnesota. They could bomb out of the playoffs. I don't know. You don't know. We can't foretell the future, but it's not going to be because they played guys in this San Francisco game. That's not how football works, and you know that's not how it works. You're looking for a narrative in that sense. You're looking for a way to explain things when you're talking about an irrational game. The Lions did Lions did not have any injuries in this, knock on wood, although I did see Amon-Ra St. Brown was a little limping a couple times here. But at the same time, man, this is just how they play football. This is just how they play football at the end of the day. They don't have a second gear. It's a team that has a lot of energy on their side. It's not going to harm them at all down this stretch. And if you'll be doing a lot of jumping to conclusions to try to make that work, if that's your argument. But more to the fact, I don't want to just even talk about that because I just don't feel like this is just how we should be approaching a team that is 14-2. I think Lions fandom and I'm not just leaving this at Lions fans because I've seen this happen with the Vikings. Because of this showdown with the Vikings coming up, a lot of people have just been kind of really angsty. They've been really nervous on pins and needles for a lot of it about what could go wrong here. I hate to say it, it's football. A lot of stuff could go wrong, and you should enjoy it for what's in the moment right now. And what's in the moment right now is another 40-burger by the Detroit Lions in a game that really they had no, if you want to talk about a reason the Lions might want to lose some games, boy, the defense did not look good tonight. Kirby Joseph, however, becomes your hero at the end of the game. After 6 weeks of no picks whatsoever, Kirby Joseph suddenly belting out 2 interceptions where the Lions needed it most and turning that into scoring opportunities off of each one. That's the kind of opportunities the Lions have kind of lacked in the past few years that has made them be able to be more efficient with how they play games and how their defense is viewed. It is a depleted defense. The linebacker core desperately needs a leader like Alex Anzalone to come back and be able to put these guys into positions because right now Ezekiel Turner looks lost out there, and he's not the only one. The 49ers picked apart that unit pretty well. You had DJ Reader out there trying to, on downs, you knew the 49ers were going to pass. And I love DJ Reader, but DJ Reader, your nose tackle, should not be trying to chase down Brock Purdy when they're starting to go end around and really start to mess with you. You need linebacker help at that point, and the Lions aren't having linebacker help at all right now. That is concerning as hell. That is something where we start talking about this defense. That's the first point you really got to talk about. Miles Adams had a sack in this game. I mean, if you knew that Miles Adams was on this team, congratulations. Lions digging deep in this to once again win. And it is the 49ers, and they are banged up. But man, it looked like when they came into this game, they were starting to have your number. That's the kind of offense you want to play against to really get ready for what you're going to have to play next week, which is a championship caliber offense in the Minnesota Vikings. That was good warm-up for you, and it's a good preview for what the Lions want to do. Jamison Williams, more involved. Jahmyr Gibbs, you're carrying a lot, brother, but you got 117 yards, but you're being more efficient with those carries. And they're starting to work in Craig Reynolds as the RB2 behind Gibbs. And you know what? He's perfectly fine. He averaged 4.4 yards per carry in this game. He had 2 receptions for 35 yards. That's a really good game for Craig Reynolds, especially as he's stepping up to fill some very, very big knuckles size shoes to make this offense work. You had a good game once again from the offensive line. I know Hatton was having some trouble on special teams, but everyone else was fine. I actually thought Glasgow had himself one hell of a bounce back game after we were all singing the praises of Christian Mahogany. That was a good bounce back game for him. And you went up against a really good edge rusher in Bosa. And you came out looking fine. You pulled out victory. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. The first few drives of any Lions game might look funky, weird, and it might be a lot of pace setting. But guess what? You're going to have to win games like that. That's just how a football game isn't won in the first 2 or 3 drives. It's won by the final drives. It's won by 60 minutes. And this Lions team understands that. Don't start dooming just because the other team gets the ball first and scores right away. The Lions elected to receive the ball in the second half by deferring because they knew. I know a lot of people would like to see them take the ball first and set the pace. But you know what? You're going to get disrupted at some point. But you're going to disrupt them at some point too. This was a hell of a game. This was a really good game. It was a tough game to deal with stuff like Deebo Samuel. It was a tough game to deal with Ricky Pearsall and George Kittle. And I'm sure the Lions will be looking at a lot of tape this week on how you let those two in particular just torch you. Ricky Pearsall, 140 yards in this game off of 8 receptions. George Kittle, 112 off of 8 receptions. George Kittle perfect in his targets. That won't fly against the Minnesota Vikings. They'll have a better run game than Isaac Guerendo. And you know what? They really got away. I thought the 49ers got away from their run game when they were down. And I thought that was a bit of a blessing for the Lions, but that's also the kind of pressure a high-powered offense can place on a team like this, where it's like, oh, we can't set pace anymore. We have to start racing with the dogs out there. So they went away from their run game, and it made them one-dimensional, and what happened? What happened? It's like playing defense through offense a little bit out there. But more than that, and more that coming up to what's going to happen this next week, I just want to take the time to appreciate what we are witnessing right now. As I started this quick post-game podcast with this team's 14-2 for the first time in anyone's lifetime. The Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell did that. Aaron Glenn did that. Ben Johnson did that. Appreciate what you're watching right now. I understand at the end of the day, everyone just wants Super Bowl. And I'm riffing a little bit from someone else I read today, but like, we'd love to know what the outcomes are. We'd love to say that this team is destined for great things at the end of the day. We'd love to say that there's a reason for the injuries, that we can fix that, or there's a reason for, whether or not they'll play great against the Vikings or play well in the defense. I mean, in the playoffs, there's no reason for any of it. I hate to say it, but at the end of the day, we can talk about sports and business all we want, but it is an athletic competition. And 2 teams get on the field and try to prove who is better. But 14-2, man. Think of all the memories you've had this year as you head in to the Minnesota Vikings showdown on Sunday. Think about the win over the Houston Texans. Think about both of the Bears games, the first of which was very funny. Think about the Packers game. Think about the Rams game to start the year. Think about all of what you've been witnessing as the Lions head back to Ford Field for a season finale. Tell me you didn't have fun. Tell me you haven't had fun. This has been fun as hell. I've wanted a team that is just really fun to watch. And even as they have been dominant at 14 wins, there's still some warts on this team, and that still makes them interesting to me at the end of the day. I'd like them to play better. As a fan, I would like them to play better defense. As someone who loves sports, I still can't say no to this Lions team. How can you? I understand you'd like to say that there's an easy road in all of this. But this is great. As just a genuine sports fan, this is great. 14-2, two 14-2 teams on Sunday Night Football, the final game of the season, to determine the division and the first seed in the NFC. A conference where last year 12-5 was your number one seed. Now it's between two teams vying for 15-2. That's great. That's a heavyweight match, man. That's a fantastic. There's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than that. This is really the story of the season, is watching this NFC North. The Vikings helped us separate the Packers from that group because the Packers haven't been able to beat teams with better records than them. They were 0-5 against the Eagles, Vikings, and Lions. They're clearly the next tier down. But the Vikings, it's been a while since you played them in Minnesota. And circumstances have changed. You certainly haven't had your best defense. And it was down to the wire in that game too, if you remember. It was that Jake Bates field goal to win it. Man, talk about Jake Bates. Jake Bates was sexy this game. Jake Bates was sexy for the 49ers, for this 49ers game. Don't ask me. Look at the pictures. He's posing like your French model out there. And George Costanza. By the way, in a battle of Jakes, it's still wild to me, and I do feel a little bad for Jake Moody. You got a third rounder spent on you, and you missed that many PATs, and then the onside kick at the end, you just skied it. You just line drove it right out of bounds. Meanwhile, Jake Bates, as I've said before, didn't kick field goals in college. He was a converted soccer player and played in the UFL, the Michigan Panthers. And yes, Jake Bates had some wobble on a short kick and then missed, I believe, 2 PATs in this game. One of them not on him, that was like Hatton getting blown up, but the second one was definitely, Either way, I like what you got in Jake Bates. And I think when the pressure's on him to make big kicks, you still got to ride that hot hand as long as you can. Jared Goff, once again, fantastic in this game. 22 of 25. 86.8 QBR. Like, at the end of the day, trust this offense to do what it's been doing. Trust Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamison Williams and all the guys that have gotten you this far. I like the Lions moving forward. I really do. And this has been a run. And when this is all said and done, I'm going to look back on this season, regardless where they finish in the playoffs, and be like, man, what a hell of a season this has been. This has been really something. We're going to end the podcast portion of the postgame. I'm going to address you, chat, in just a second. And join us on Tuesday. It'll be an early recording on Tuesday, so I hope you're hearing this early enough for the Pride of Detroit PODcast with myself, Jeremy Reisman, and Ryan Matthews. But for now, for the podcast portion, I say farewell. Lions win. See you Starside. Okay, got that recorded. Hi, everyone. I've got a lot of chat to catch up on. I apologize for missing some of it. I just want to get out 15 minutes of talk where I can. Remember when everyone said don't play Goff? Let's see what Hooker's about. I mean, I kind of believed in Hooker a little bit. We didn't even talk about Teddy Bridgewater being back. If I may, yeah, loser becomes the number 5 seed. I'm just not. Here's the thing. I don't feel worried about the 5 seed. I don't think you feel worried about the Detroit Lions if you're the 5 seed. You know why? Because you are because you might play in either LA or Tampa. And like what? Like, I mean, here's the thing. Here's the big thing. And I'm dipping into a little bit of my love of Dan Campbell, but if you lose that Vikings game and you fall to the 5 seed, Dan Campbell is going to fire that team the F up. He is going to get them really heated. Hi, I'm recording a video with Eric for PODD, but I just want all to know that I love you and I want you to play linebacker for the Lions. Hey, here's the other point. Dan Campbell went to Texas A&M. He knows the actual lore of the meaning 12th man. Oh, I forgot about Atlanta, too. I forgot completely about Atlanta. That's a great point, Alien Vivitor. I forgot about that. Go play Penix or Tampa Revenge game. Here's the thing with Tampa. They are out of... The big thing for them is not having Antoine Winfield. Like, that has really hurt them. I think they're going to win that division. They play the Saints and the Falcons because of last night. They don't control their destiny. It would take a real miracle for this sad-ass Saints team to actually beat the Buccaneers. But without Winfield, that is a game I still like the Lions in. Yeah, Alex Anzalone, hurry back, really. Like, you really need someone to help direct these linebackers, man. Woo. Also, then you play Minnesota again with more players healthy with 5 versus 1 seed. Yeah, and then like what? Like we all know the thing about playing a team a third time in a season, and suddenly it's split 1-1. What I'm saying is, don't worry about it too much. I understand you want the bye, but it's not dead. It's not dead at all. It's not dead at all, and I refuse to hear talk about it being dead. And yes, as Constrictor had said earlier, hi, Chris, remember when we were fans of a team that never won more than 12 games in a season? You're playing meaningful games in December, man. What's better than this? This is great football on your TVs. I know people are mad that they're not getting any help and the Vikings are right there. I refuse to do that. I really do. I was talking about it a little bit. Arif Hassan wrote a great piece because he's dealing with some very cranky Minnesota fans as well. And they're like, want to talk about a mirror right now. Both of our fan bases, I feel like, are being driven insane by the fact that neither team is giving an inch. And you know what? He has a great post on his blog on Wide Left about just appreciating like how cool and good of a team this stuff is right now. I really would urge you to he's got, it's called the Minnesota Vikings are doing the fucking thing. And it's because there's so many other Vikings fans who are doing what a lot of Lions fans are doing, which is dooming, even though you are 14-2 and worried like hell of something going wrong. Week 18 against the Vikings, just how Dan would want it. That's the other thing, man. Dan's got to be loving this. Aside the fact he doesn't have linebackers, but once again, if you guys know the story about how 12th man got started at Texas A&M, just be in the lower bowl and be ready. He might point to you and ask you to suit up. Let me see if we can get some Dan Campbell sound. I believe they should be going to him soon enough. I'll pull it up on my... Oh, no, it's still upcoming. I'll let you know if we get some Dan Campbell sound, because we will go and listen to the man talk. We'll be live for a little bit. Again, Jeremy's doing Pride of Detroit Direct. Ryan's probably got early mornings or whatever. Or, you know, he's writing. If you have questions, I will take them as best I can. Sorry, I don't really have a look on YouTube right now. What am I drinking? Just a Coke. Just a Coke right now. I've had way too much acid reflux for me to really be drinking rum. I've had too much rum the last few nights. I had a really bad case of acid reflux the other day, and I need some bubbles to get the gas out of my gut. How's my health? I mean, it's fine. I'm not eating great. My diet's not great right now just because I've only had like 1 day off in 3 weeks. It's holiday season at Fox Sports Radio, which means I am doing a lot of work. I've had 2 12-hour. Yeah, no, the acid reflux was yesterday. It's over now. And to be honest, like, carbonation helps my stomach. Tums don't do anything to me. They really don't. My main problem is my hearing, is my ears. I did just get signed up for new healthcare coverage, so I am looking forward to scheduling some doctor's visits here in the new year, just so I can finally figure out what's wrong with the blood pressure in my ears. We did get a little taste of Jalen Reeves Mabim tonight, if you guys noticed that. We did get a little taste of that. Ooh, I need to show this on stream a little second. Hold on. Where is my screen capture? Hide on hide. Oh, no, I don't want to show that. That's me doing... You guys know the ARPA Make It Sports account? I was waiting for this. What Fred Warner thing? You're going to have to remind... I don't know what you're talking about with Fred Warner. Delacroix's Lion and Snake. Okay, let's see what this is from Fred Warner. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Oh, this is why, because I'm not on fucking Twitter much anymore.
Dan Campbell said, we're bringing everybody to the West Coast. We're bringing everybody to the West Coast. Why? Get your ass to me tonight. Monday night. They gotta leave like this. Live here. Live at home. Live at home. That hurt. Here hurt. Put your fucking forehead on their forehead and let them feel it from the first place to the last. Yeah. It's all out. Make this personal now. Let's go.
Yeah, that's just usual trash talk. I don't really care much about that. I know fans are going to have a field day with that, especially with some of the hits D. Winters was throwing. D. Winters was kind of... I don't like when anyone was getting tackled by D. Winters. Let me just say that. Fred Warner, Lance, and fake. Oh, okay. Was that? I saw he did have a little bit of friendly fire, but there was some stuff that was not just friendly fire from D. Winters. I want to make that clear. There was definitely some other hits from D. Winters where I was like, that's a wee high. That's using a little bit too much of your head there. All right. I believe we should be hearing from Dan Campbell. Yes, let's go to Dan Campbell.
And we were able to finish that one out. And a number of guys played really good for us, played really, really well. And, I thought Goff had a big game. That offensive line, Gibbs, Jamo, Saint, defensively, there was a number of guys. Certainly, Kirby came up big with 2 picks that were big. And anyway, it was wanted to play complimentary football. We did that, and I was really proud of the guys.
Dan, we know your mentality. You spoke about it this week about playing the guys, not resting starters. Just talk about why that was so important for you to come out and have the guys play and get this victory with the starters in rotation as well.
Yeah, there's nothing easy about this, and there's a number of things you got to decide, and you don't we don't get to prepare those other guys because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen for first, second down, third down, red zone leading into the week. And so, for example, like Hooker's not getting those reps. Those are Goff's reps because we don't know. And that's just one example. And so it's not fair. I just don't believe it's fair to put in a guy who's not prepared to play, especially a young player. And then you can only sit 6 guys. So who are all those 6? Well, all right, who are the 6? And then the other guys that don't, was it fair to them that we're not using everything we've got? We flew out here, we prepared this way, we came out to win, and that's ultimately what it came to. And, yeah, you do. You cross your fingers, nobody gets hurt. I mean, it's tough. And we were fortunate, we got out. And now it's on to the next one.
Kirby, I think he had 7 picks in the first 10 games. Had been a little bit of a drought here, but just stepped up in a huge way. 2 big ones that you guys turned into 14 points. Just whenever you guys have needed a kind of a play, it seems like he's been able to step up. Just how proud are you of him? 9 picks on the year now.
Yeah, really, really proud. I mean, it's what we talked about. It was when we needed to the most, man, he came up big. And, we were – we've been talking about it. We knew we needed to get takeaways, and it was just another example of playing complementary football. And, man, he came up in a big way, and not just that, the picks, but, he had some critical tackles in this game and just really showed up for us. So that was big.
Kirby had those big picks, obviously, but you guys didn't force a punt. Just how do you feel overall about your defense and its readiness for the playoffs right now?
Yeah, I wanted to. For me, it's do you want to play a little bit better? Yeah, you do in areas, but we calmed some things down in the second half. AG and those guys did a good job, and we talked about disruption and takeaways, and we got those, and that's the world we got to live in, So I feel good. And because I know that the most important thing is that we do complement each other. And when we need it, offense has got to show up. And defense, if we're not able to score, they got to show up. And we did that. And then we still got special teams, that we hadn't even talked about yet. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
What you said about the not resting the starters, did you get even a little bit of a niche after the Vikings won and obviously playing the starters? How does that set you up for the Vikings this week on a short week? Does it give you any kind of benefit for momentum, anything like that?
Well, yeah, I'm probably like you guys that were all here, woke up at 2 or whatever this was this morning. And, yeah, it was on my mind. I thought a lot about it. I thought about it leading up to the game. I thought about it last night. I told the staff. But I ended up settling on the right thing to do was play these guys, and because we owed it to the team, and it was just one of those positions we were in. It's just hard to say who you're going to sit, and it's not fair to ask guys to play that haven't been prepared to play, So yeah, that was tough, and I think the biggest thing is there was things we wanted to do better than we did last week, and we did. We cleaned a lot of things up offensively. I thought defensively we talked about getting takeaways. We got takeaways, and so that'll always serve you well going into the next week. And, look, there was never going to be anything we knew what this is. You're out on the West Coast, you go, man, it's all good. That's what we do. You know what I mean? This is what we do. Like, we love it hard. And this is our deal right now. So we're looking forward to this, everything about this week.
Speaking of what you do, undefeated on the road, Dan, it's so hard to win on the road in this league. To go undefeated, just how much of an accomplishment is that for you personally? Well,
it shows the type of guys we got, shows the type of players we got. And, we're a resilient group. We just are. And we're built to handle things that not everybody can do. And, you go 8-0 on the road, that means you're a pretty damn good team, and you can handle adversity. And so, I'm proud of these guys. I'm proud of the coaches. It takes a village. It takes everybody. So we prepare that way, and we play that way.
Dan, we saw Panay head to the locker room a little bit earlier in the first half. Is he dealing with anything that is a long-term concern at all?
No, shouldn't be. Should be good. Thumb.
Hey, Dan, you had 11 conversions today on third or fourth down. Just how were you guys so good on money downs tonight?
I mean, we felt good about the plan going into the week. And ultimately it was going to come down to the execution. So we did feel like we had a really good plan, put our guys in position, and ultimately, man, Goff played lights out today, and he's been playing like this. And just I feel like he took another step up, which is hard to believe, with where he's been playing because it is such a high level. So that, and then our playmakers showed up, man. They made plays for us. The O-line protected well. And usually that means you're going to have success.
Dan, I know we asked you earlier this week about just coming back here at this stage playing. Even for some of the media, we was just like, it was crazy to just experience that after last year.
Hard to believe it's been almost a year, huh?
How was it to actually come out and get this victory on this stage? I know it's not going to take away the pain from last year, but just to actually get that victory on this stage.
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, there's so many things that you want to get a taste out of your mouth that's been there for a while, and so it feels good to do that. It feels good to come out here and get that win. And I tell you what, everything about this was right. It just felt good. It was a great night for football, great environment. That's a good team with good coaches, and man, they came out and they gave us what they had, man. They did, and we knew they would. So, we had to earn that win, and we did, and that got us to 14. So I'm really proud of the guys.
The Cowboys win, this win, does this complete the Dan Campbell revenge tour?
No, it's not.
It
was
mean
good
more?
to get this one. It was good to get this one.
Does it though? Is there something more behind it for you, for the players, as far as avenging these kind of tough losses in the past?
Well, I just think that was tough, and look, we didn't earn it last year, and they did, and so to be able to, even though it's not the same as last year, to be able to come out to the scene of the crime and get it done, it does give you some satisfaction.
Dan, you mentioned it. You didn't get any help, obviously, from Green Bay yesterday. But I guess what is the message about the opportunity, the challenge that this week brings?
This is what you're in it for, man. I mean, this is ultimately it. I mean, you couldn't write a better scenario. You couldn't come up with this. The fact that both teams are sitting at 14-2, and it's for the division and the 1 seed. It just doesn't get any better than this. Like this is fairy tale stuff. And so, I mean, it speaks for itself. Our guys are excited. I told you the hardest thing was not to overlook what we were getting ready to do today. And now that it's here, we spend the next 6 hours on the plane. This is great, man. This is it's as good as it gets. And so we're looking forward to this. And it's early. We just finished the last game.
Coach, what does it mean for Jared, coming back to the Bay Area? This is a team he hasn't beaten in, I think, almost 7 years. Get the win
really?
and play so well.
That.
Yeah, and
but
play
it feels
so well.
good, I guarantee you.
Yeah. But what is it like for him? I'm sure he had a lot of friends and family here to have that kind of performance at home, basically.
I know he had a lot of friends and family here, and so I know in that regard that meant something. There was a lot that meant, something to him. Certainly what Carlos just brought up, the fact that to be able to get a win out here and what we didn't last year, and then the previous history you're talking about with the Rams, and then have the family. But this is a different Jared Goff now. He's different. And this guy is developed and matured, and he's just stepping into his prime, and he just continues to get better and better. And he's playing at an ultimate level right now. I mean, you find me a quarterback that's playing better than him in this league right now. I'd love to see it.
Guy we don't get to ask about this time of year a lot, but Craig Reynolds really showed up today, both in the receiving game and the running game. Just how big of a boost is that as you kind of go out there without David in these final weeks?
It's huge. And once again, it's like that's Craig. That's what Craig does. And, Craig doesn't get hardly any reps because they go to Gibbs. or David when we had David. He gets a couple here and there, and so he goes in from the mental work of preparing, and he's always on point. He knows exactly where to line up, alignment, assignment, effort, finish. And he shows up once again for us, and that's why we trust him. We trust the heck out of him. And normally he's been a big special teams contributor for us, always has silent production, and he steps in, and you're right, man. He was a huge help for us offensively. Well, we'll see. I mean, he's doing well. I mean, he's close. He's really close. Okay. Thanks. Yep.
Being the starting quarterback for the Lions, moving out here.
All right. Enough of that. Oh, no. Where's my camera? Sorry. I was a little busy there. Yeah, Dan is, hey, man, I called it. I said that Dan would love this, that he wouldn't think of anything else but to have, this showdown on week 18. This is the kind of shit that he's in for it. I worry too much that Dan has infected my way of thinking, that I am becoming more and more insane as I watch football. And that's just the effect of having a coach who went to Texas A&M at the end of the day. By the way, speaking of college rivalries, Amon-Ra St. Brown passed Golden Tate as let me make sure I get this right. Let me make sure I get the stat right. Let's be careful about this. Amon-Ra St. Brown passed Golden Tate on the franchise list for most reception and receiving yards in this game. So once again, fight on, the power of fight on over the Golden Domers. Just thought I should throw that out there. I know we've got a lot of Wolverines and Spartans. You don't care, but you know what? Fight on. Fight on, baby. It is a rivalry. Dan is theoretical from Vinland Saga. He just lives for the battles. He does have a very Thorkel the Tall attitude about him. Because Thorkel the Tall, if you watch Vinland Saga, Thorkel is certainly a lot smarter than people give him credit for. Even though he is just a monster. It happens to be that my PFP on Twitter and Blue Sky is also Thorkel the Tall. So, I mean, I love that. All right, I think we're into question time. What is Vinland Saga? It's an anime. My voice is pitched very high. That's probably Twitch catching up on something on the recorder. That's not something I control. Oops, I moved my camera a little bit. Let me fix that. You're seeing my mess in my room. I don't want you to see that. Oh, here's Jared Goff. Let's listen to Jared Goff. We don't usually get a lot of Jared Goff.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel like we're all playing at an elevated level right now on offense. I think the last handful of weeks, even the Buffalo game we lost, we were scoring a ton of points, and we've been playing well on offense for quite some time, and I feel like I'm just part of that.
You guys are 8-0 on the road this season. I know a lot of times when asked about these achievements, you say you'll look back on them one day. But now that the regular season road schedule is done, I guess how much pride do you take in being able to achieve that? Yeah, a ton. I answered this on the field earlier, but like the us against everybody mentality, how tight this group is, how close we are, that comes out in full force on the road, and our culture, how prideful we are in what we want to do, and then also, our fans have shown up to road games and have made a difference, made it feel like semi-home games, and that's important.
Jared, there was a lot of questions entering the game. Would Dan play the starters? Would he rest them? Just speak of the mentality of, no, I'm playing, we're going to try to get this.
Yeah.
Just that mentality.
Yeah, you put that to bed pretty early on in the week, no matter what was going to happen, that we were going to go, and I'm sure that's tough for him, but I think that's the only way we know. It is just go and find a way to win, and the team we were playing, in San Francisco. Like, this is what ended our season last year, and there was a lot of guys on this team that were there last year that wanted to get one back on them, even though in a lot of ways it was meaningless for them and meaningless for us. But they were prideful out there too. They were trying to beat us as well, and it was a fun game.
Jared, how many friends and family did you have here today?
A lot.
What was,
I have no idea how many, but a lot.
What was it like to have that kind of performance? I mean, the fans are chanting your name against a team you grew up rooting for.
Yeah, pretty surreal. Again, our fans have been unbelievable all year on road games. It's truly remarkable what they've done, and it's loud on third down sometimes for the offense, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's very cool for me being home in front of my family and friends, and having an experience like that. It's cool.
Jamo got to 1,000 scrimmage yards. That means you have
Nice.
4 players with 1,000 scrimmage yards on the season.
Nice.
You're the first team to ever do that in
Is that
NFL
right?
history.
Wow,
I'm
very
just,
cool.
how fun is it to play quarterback when you've got that many guys that can make plays for you? Great example was
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, it's really cool, and the 4 I'm sure is Demo, Gibbs, Saint, and Jamo, right? And then like Laporta's as good as he gets at tight end, and Tim's done a hell of a job too, and like. We've got a good group and a very unselfish group, which is the best part about it. And those guys just want to see each other succeed. They just want to win. But yeah, to do something like that's very cool, and we're proud of that.
Dan, we asked him about the whole thing of playing starters, not playing starters. Now you got a short week. He got the Vikings, and he called it fairy tale stuff. He says you guys like it hard.
They're going to use that line.
Do as far as setting you up for that big showdown against the Vikings?
Game like today? Yeah, another W. I don't know. I mean, if there is something to be said for keeping like a winning streak going. I think you don't want to lose a game and have to kind of restart that winning streak. So I think there is something to be said for that. And certainly the Vikings are on a winning streak, and so are we now at this point, 2 or 3 games now. But yeah, I think that's what's important about winning this game. And yeah, I don't believe it's hard. I don't know what's hard about the week, but yeah, we're good.
Could it have been harder to restart if you had rested to take basically 2 weeks off and be full force, even if you rested or whatever?
2 weeks off?
Yeah, to have basically not play for a week.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know if we're able to get the bye week, we'd be pretty happy about that. So I don't know. There's give and take to it. Yeah, but there's some validity to having some time off can be bad for teams. I don't believe it'd be bad for us, but yeah, I don't know. It's pretty, there's pros and cons. The best way to answer it. I'm sorry, I don't have a better answer.
You guys had 11 conversions on 3rd or 4th down.
Nice.
What do you attribute that success to?
Detail and pass protection and our guys getting open and making plays. Yeah, I know we had a couple, 1 or 2 4th down touchdowns in the red zone and failed on one of them, but yeah, we made some plays all night. We guys got open. It was fun.
Thank you, guys.
Cool, thanks.
Kirby Joseph will be next.
Oh, we might get Kirby later. I'll keep the stream up for that. I'll keep an eye and see if we can get Kirby. But I do like talking. O-line was very good today. I mentioned it in the post-game show, but I did think this was the bounce-back game for some of those guys, especially. I know we were all singing the praises of Christian Mahogany, but I thought Graham Glasgow played very well in this game. Very well. Like, Bosa is a threat. I'm sure Panay's grade won't be great, but just because you're dealing with Bosa half that time, but you kept him pretty clean. Yeah, he had his hands full. Although, did you see that they did fake the handoff, like the end around handoff to Panay Sewell? Did you see that they did that during the game? I believe someone on Blue Sky had the point that they put that on tape for a reason. Let me see if I got a clip of it. Yeah, I've got the clip right here. That's someone... sorry, I'm like setting it up. I have to do a bunch of stuff because I have 2 monitors and deal with a lot of shit. Also, someone has pinged me on Discord and I have to check. Oh, someone just telling me an espresso martini. Damn it, CJ. Stop drinking espresso martinis. Anyway, let's see here. Screen capture. I want the screen up. Okay. Watch this. So this was a running play, but watch what happens in the backfield here. Watch what happens. Keep an eye, especially on 58 at the bottom. So here's the handoff. And then fakes, he first off hands it off, but fakes that he's moving it to the other hand, and then fakes handing off to Panay Sewell. Like just you know, just they as I retweeted this, but like as they put this on tape for a reason. They put that on tape for a reason. I love going on X and seeing people hand-wringing and saying, why are you using that trick play here against the... I think this is after the Jamo direct handoff. It's like, why are you... there's a very beautiful play, but why are you using this trick play here in a game against the 49ers? Shouldn't you save that for next week? And all I can think is that we have been hearing that line every week since the Cowboys game. And every week there's something else. Appreciate the hell out of Ben Johnson while you have him. I don't think you'll keep him after this year. But I will say this. I think they just meant, like, listen, if nothing else, if you're worried about Ben Johnson going somewhere else, let me just say that. The 4 guys who have 1,000 yards from scrimmage and Jared Goff, they ain't going anywhere. They keep running the hook and ladder to perfection. Man, that hook and ladder by that hook, I think it was the hook play by Amon-Ra St. Brown as he's going to the ground. That was perfect. Like that was a big, everyone loved Jamo on the play. How St. Brown handled that going down. That was good. Yeah, Amon-Ra to Jamo. Yeah, that was very, very excellent, I thought. Very excellent. I did see the hook and ladder that the Colts failed to do. By the way, I know some people have been asking me for some Colts hate. I don't want to hijack our post game doing Colts hate, but if you guys say it in the chat right now, if you want me to do a little bit of a eulogy for the team that I've cursed, that I've been cursing ever since their writers tried to get me fired, I'll gladly talk about what happened with the Colts because I really don't need to do too much. Do it, Colts hate. Okay, here's the thing. It's very easy. I know McAfee probably laid into them pretty well, but I don't watch McAfee. I read about Jim Irsay's dad. If you think Jim is a piece of shit, his dad was Bob Irsay was drunk all the time. Bob Irsay would take like helicopter rides around Phoenix, then come back and lie that he was there. And then, like, the biggest thing is, once again, how did the Colts end up in Indianapolis in the first place? Robert Irsay hired Mayflower trucks to take the team out of Baltimore in the middle of the night. I think most people remember who just watch, if you want to really hate Robert Irsay and the Irsay family, you should watch The Band Who Didn't Die, 30 for 30 by ESPN, because one of the members of the Colts marching band stole equipment when the Colts were being moved from Baltimore in the middle of the night to keep the band alive. But it goes through what a shithead Robert Irsay was. Just an actual jackass. But let's talk about the hates. Let's talk about the Colts, what happened here. Yeah, I'm sure McAfee had some good stuff as a former player right now. But I just... Look, man. I don't know if the Colts were going to make the playoffs this year. They needed a lot of help to get in. They were in a really bad situation and starting Joe Flacco once again because they didn't have Anthony Richardson. I don't know if they really had a lot of hope in this, but at the opposite end of the spectrum, you are playing the New York Giants, who, if the New York Giants were smart, they would realize, oh, wow, we have the number 1 overall pick right now. A very valuable number 1 overall pick for Shadur Sanders or Cam Ward. We just don't need to screw this up. That's all we need to do is not screw this up. Not fucking choke on our own vomit. Not fall down and destroy yourself against the goddamn Giants. The 2-13 Giants. We need to just not lose our shit against the New York Football Giants, the worst team in football. 45 points by Drew Lock. 45 points by I don't know if Drew Lock is their QB3 or their QB2. I don't know how they regard Tommy DeVito, and like, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. 45 points though, and listen, Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson is going to make some very young quarterback very happy. I like both those receivers. But Colts, I'm not saying you needed to make the playoffs, but you didn't need to fucking choke on vomit like this. I don't. You had an outside chance still. You at least want to win that game, hold your head high and say, look, we tried to make the playoffs. We were close. No, you lost to the Giants. You let the Giants stomp you dry. Holy shit. So, ever since I have had this vendetta against the Colts, they've now lost the Giants. They lost to the what was it? First off, Chris Foster, if you want some good copy pasta, the Lions have 2 playoff wins now. So, I mean, you like could be nice. You could have the rest of it. But we got you're saying Megatron is 0 play. I don't care. Anyway, the Colts. Remember when the Colts had the they lost against the Jaguars during the clown out? Remember when they lost during the clown out by the Jaguars? Jaguars fans mad at ownership wearing clown makeup, and the Colts lost. See, that's where it kind of started, Tactile Puma. It's not that I hated the Colts. I was just kind of annoyed by them. My biggest pet peeve in all of football are teams that are like undeserving. Teams that are undeserving of the attention they get sometimes. And by my counting, the Indianapolis Colts is a team that kind of gets undeserving. Is pretty undeserving and ruins a lot of quarterbacks and doesn't get them a lot of help. How far is Jamo from 1,000 yards? He hit 1,000 yard. Mama's dope boy. He hit 1,000-yard scrimmage tonight. He was the fourth guy. He was the fourth guy on the Lions to hit 1,000-yard scrimmage. So he's above 1,000 now. I don't know if that's all receiving yards, because he is getting some direct handoffs and some run and some rushing yards. But he's got 1,000. He's got over 1,000-yard scrimmage now. Like David Montgomery, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs. So he has 890 yards receiving, and so he's got over. Imagine being a Bears fan. I did see a stat. I did see something I would like to share with the class. If I may. Let me go back to my screen capture. Someone sent me this. I don't know who this is from. I don't recognize the logo of this slot machine on X, but one of these things is not like the other one. That thing not like the other one. When you let the other members of your group project really do the heavy lifting. Yeah. The meme with King Ghidorah, but that's only 3 heads. This is like a 4-headed dragon, though. 3 very smart heads. Although I'll be honest, I feel like the Packers got a bit of a downgrade when you are 0-5 against, the Eagles, Lions, and Vikings. Oh, there is a 4-headed version? Okay, because King Ghidorah usually has 3 heads. Also, someone brought up this stat. Ryan Nanny, who I adore, shut down Fullcast. By beating the Niners, the Lions have ensured the Bears will finish with more losses than the rest of the division combined. You did not know it was King Ghidorah. I'm a Godzilla dork. I loved old God. I watched a lot of old Godzilla movies when I was a teenager. So I know all about King Ghidorah. Or Ghidorah, however you pronounce it. Mothra. Yeah, because this is the, sorry. I know I'm completely off tangent. I'll go back a second. Because this is the original meme, right? Yeah, that's King Ghidorah. I do need to watch, I did get a Netflix subscription because of Christmas. I do need to watch Godzilla -1 before I let it go. Along with a couple other movies that I have been dying to see. '25 is going to be a very fun start of the year. I hope it's a healthy one for me. I just need to get myself. This is a great momentum for the Wings and Pistons. By the way, did the Pistons actually win on Saturday? I did not see. Did they win on Saturday? Do they still have more wins than the Detroit Lions in 2 years? No, they lost. Very unfortunate. They are once again tied with the Detroit Lions for wins. I did see, who was it? My friend Chris Gibbs, who had a great stat about the... Wait, they did win yesterday. Did I get that wrong? No, I thought they lost to the Nuggets. On Saturday, right? They played on Saturday. They lost to the Nuggets. I don't care about the Wings. Everyone can stop talking about the Red Wings right now. We don't need to ever talk about the Red Wings. Where was that stat I had? Where was that stat? I was talking specifically about the Pistons. You guys want to bring in something as awful as the Red Wings. Yeah, here was the stat I was thinking of. Yeah, that the Pistons, were able to get to 14 wins earlier than they have in the last 5 years. Either way, once again, the Pistons are once again tied with the Lions for wins. New coach, new year. I don't know how you people in hockey do things. I don't care. I don't know the sport. I really don't. Ice belongs in a glass for a drink, not on the floor. Degenerate. Listen, man, there's a reason I live in California now. You thought I wanted to live and be reminded of how cold it gets? No. No. We need a host for POD. I know hockey. I've gone to hockey games. And I would be very careful, Drew Falcon. I will fight you. I have mod powers. Always be careful of that. Anyway, we were talking football before we started injecting other crappy sports into this mix. Anything else from the weekend? Did you guys watch the Pop-Tarts Bowl? Did you have fun? So we are going to, so for PODcast tomorrow, I should let this out. We are looking at a 3:30 Eastern start time. That's not official yet, but that's what me, Ryan, and Jeremy have been talking about. Mostly because I know that we want to be out before the college football playoff game. Jeremy had a concern about the Michigan bowl game before me and Ryan both made fun of him for even bringing it up. Yeah, come on. It's the Why are you guys watching Michigan play Alabama? It's Relia Quest. It's not even a fun sponsor. It's not the Outback Bowl anymore. That said, I would like to see Michigan beat Alabama just to really have the SEC honks really get really mad. That'd be great. Anytime you can get Clay Travis to shut up is a fantastic time. We want to see Bama so we can see who we can draft next year for the Lions. Is there anyone even good on that team right now? If a giant Pop-Tart doesn't show up, I don't care. I love the Pop-Tart Bowl understands the assignment. The Pop-Tart Bowl has lore. It is so fun. And by the way, I do not care at all about this drama about Cam Ward sitting out the second half of that game. I just don't give a shit. Had a lot of college guys mad as hell that he sat out and said, this is going to follow him into the NFL draft. He's not going to get asked a single fucking question by anyone serious around the NFL draft. No NFL team gives a damn that he sat out the second half. And he only played in the first half so he could set an NCAA record, which is kind of a weak fucking NCAA record because it's counting some of his touchdowns when he was playing at an Incarnate Word. Anyway, that's junior football. What else happened around the NFL this weekend? We have a little bit of time. If you guys have some Lions questions, I'll take them. If you want to sit here and laugh about Aaron Rodgers getting smoked to hell and back, we can talk about that. We can talk about how the number one seed is starting to the number one overall pick is starting to take shape. And boy, is it a grim, grim shape. Lamar MVP, I'm not quite sure. I hate to do this to you guys, but I think Sam Darnold might get some push at the end of the year for MVP. Like, he's definitely winning comeback player of the year. Josh Allen, I think Josh Allen's got a case too. I think some of that shine came off with that Patriots game. Even though he won it, that's kind of like the Jared Goff 5-interception game that he won against the Texans. Joe Burrow, man, that's a tough one, man. Just because we're talking about an 8-8 team at the end of the day. Oh, he can't win comeback player of the year? My mistake. Okay. My mistake. I completely forgot about that. They changed the rules. Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure he could win. I did not realize they changed the rules. Week 18 is for number one seed NFC North Coach of the Year. I am not sure Dan Campbell is in any kind of consideration for Coach of the Year. I think he should be. I think he certainly should be, but he's certainly not getting the kind of help, the consideration that his defense is banged up to hell and back, that like a Kevin Stefanski got in previous years. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell is getting I think Kevin O'Connell is getting a lot of pub because the Vikings weren't considered to be good at all. Also, however, I think there's a lot of Kevin O'Connell that's coming down to Sean McVay love. He looks like Sean McVay. He's an offensive guy. We like this guy as a coach. He makes the intelligentsia of the NFL very happy to look at. More. Give us Kevin O'Connell. And I don't even know who would be the other consideration. Like, probably, I think after Kevin O'Connell, I would say probably Dan Quinn for how fast these Commanders have turned from laughing stock into playoff contender. Jim Harbaugh is another good one too. Like, I thought the Chargers were at least a year away. I still think they are. They don't have a lot of weapons outside of Ladd McConkey. But, man, that Joe Alt pickup, I don't know if I put it on record at the time, but I thought that Joe Alt pickup reminded me a lot of when the Lions got Penei Sewell. Like, Joe Alt is that good of an offensive tackle. Yeah, and Washington with a good yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and I feel like Jaden Daniels is kind of a shoo-in for offensive rookie of the year. Although, to be honest, if I was voting for offensive rookie of the year, yeah, I mean, you just named it, nasty boy. Brock Bowers is doing stuff that Sam Laporta didn't even do last year. Man, Brock, I think what'll hold down Brock Bowers is he is playing for the Raiders, though. It's very hard. You know what it is with these guys and their stupid value arguments. Just Jaden Daniels is a quarterback. And he plays in Washington. Let's see. What else? I feel like let's talk about the Packers a little bit. Did any of y'all feel like the Packers' shine really came off with how well they were handled by the Vikings? It does feel like Matt LaFleur does have a ceiling as a coach, and that is I can't coach well against my NFC North divisional rivals. I know. I told you guys not to invest I told you guys in the podcast, and I was made fun of it. I told you guys don't invest yourself in the Packers. Only trust your fists, man. Only trust your fists. You'll get no help from anyone else. If Laporta broke receptions and TD records and couldn't get Rookie of the Year, Bowers won't. That's a really good point, actually. Although I will say, and I really hate doing this. I'm fine. I just went down the wrong hole. I really hate doing this, Jay-Z, but I will say in Brock Bowers' defense, he's got a he has no quarterbacks throwing to him. Whereas Jared Goff was very well last year, and he was throwing to Sam Laporta. I have hater energy, honest mess. I hate things. And I really hate the Packers. I also believe in having some pride in my hate. I believe that the only thing, yeah, there it is, FTP. That's what I want to see is FTP. I don't want to root for rivals for any reason. If they won, that would have been great. It would have been help. I would be like, nice. But I certainly wouldn't have been like congratulating the Packers or thanking them or making any kind of motion that I had been rooting for them in the first place. I would have pretended like I didn't even watch the game. Because that's what rivals are supposed to do. You are supposed to be petty. Are you ready for Vikings fans to call Kirby dirty all week? I don't care what Vikings fans do, man. They've been going through a lot. I feel like, as I said to Arif, I feel like this game is specially designed to make both of our fan bases go insane. Whoever runs Daily Norseman is a jackass. I will say that. I caught him, rooting for, talking about Lions injuries in a very disgusting way. Whatever. I don't care. Either way, but I do stand by what I said to Arif Hassan on which was this game, both the Lions and Vikings fans, I feel like came into this year expecting, and once both of them started to get good, both Lions fans and Vikings fans felt like the pretty bell at the ball. But the problem is there's only one prize, and they got more and more upset at each other as each one took attention from the other. And we got a pressure cooker. We got a pressure cooker out of it. Week 18. You only hate the Vikings more than the Pack because they're better right now this year. I feel confident in saying that. I really do. Because I feel like the Packers are the team I hate the most. And then, as much as I've shat on Chicago, I mostly just hate Chicago as the city. Like, I hate the Bears, sure, but I also really hate, the Blackhawks, the Bulls, and especially the White Sox. This is the way the division should be settled. Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that whoever loses this gets the 5 seed. But who cares? I know some people have clamored about, well, maybe they should change the rules. I don't care. No. Listen, the NFL loves this. The NFL loves this drama, that this is all on the line for them. That a loss won't just be like, oh, well, we lost, but, the Lions will still be the 2 seed or whatever. No. The fact that it has this much stakes to it, the NFL loves that shit, and it's why they're not going to change how they seed playoffs. They're not going to change everything because of that. Hey, Perfett, imagine the pressure cooker of this game was in the conference championship. Bills Mafia, man, I don't like that the NFC has 3. That's the other thing. 3 NFC North teams all wandering around the playoffs, all looking at each other, realizing that at some point they might have to play each other for a 3rd time in a year. That's some statistical bull going on there. That said, I do feel like the Packers have proven themselves to be a step down from the Vikings and Lions. It is, Steelers are stuck in slightly above mediocre. I really had a lot of hopes for the Steelers as I saw them kind of... Man, you want to talk about anyone who has a problem with the schedule going on them? They had 3 losses in 10 days. Wow. Hello, Lions Brazil. Hello from Brazil. We have plenty of fans from Brazil on Pride of Detroit. I love it. I love our international crowd. We haven't talked with our international crowd in too long of a time. Chris, let's just say the Lions are the 5 seed. That means they either have to travel to LA or Tampa / Atlanta. Which would you prefer? So let me just say this. I don't think Atlanta's getting in. So I want to take them off the board. I feel like their loss to the Commanders is the door shut on the Atlanta Falcons. Because as sad as the Buccaneers can be a little bit, I don't see how the Saints are going to beat the Buccaneers. You can clip this and send this right back to me and laugh at me all you want if that happens and the Falcons are able to get in because they have 2 wins over the Buccaneers. But I will say the options between LA and Tampa. Oh, we got Panama as well. Akamaiser, hola. Love it. Love it. I love all of this. Okay. So let's assume 5 seed for the Lions. They have a heartbreaking loss to Minnesota. They have to travel to either LA or Tampa. I think I would rather go to Tampa right now. I think the Rams are once again turning into that team that no one really wants to play. They're doing everything right, and they're set up in a way to give the Lions fits. So I would rather play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know you have a loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's the difference. They haven't been playing in the same way, and they are now down Antoine Winfield, who is I cannot. Antoine Winfield Jr. is a huge piece of their defense. Like, just like how we talk about Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, not having Antoine Winfield to play safety is a massive piece that has been deprived from them. They're also now down Chris Godwin. You don't know you guys have ever had the number one seed. I mean, Thailand's chief asset. I love that name, by the way. We've never had 14 wins in a season. Are you kidding me? This is all brand new experience. Some people ask you, why are you presuming they're going to have the 5 seed? Because that was the question. That was the question is, let's assume the Lions get the 5 seed. Would you rather play LA or Tampa/Atlanta? Now, if Atlanta does get in, that answer is Atlanta 24/7. Like, I have a fear of Drake London, and I kind of have a fear of Bijan Robinson. But the Lions have shown you they can shut down run games, and they will shut down Bijan Robinson. And I don't think a rookie quarterback is going to be able to pick up all the blitzes that Aaron Glenn sends. So if I had to rank them, I'd like to play Atlanta. Then after that, I'd like to play Tampa. And last, I would like to play the Rams. The Rams are... here's the thing. In either Tampa, Atlanta... in either Tampa or LA, I think there could be a lot of Lions fans who show up to take over the stadium. I don't know if that's true of Atlanta. Falcons have a pretty good fan base. I don't know if they'd show up for this right now just on how this is finished, but they'd be very happy to get into the playoffs. But the Rams would be a tough one, man. I just don't want to face Stafford again. Rams offenses, I don't think they've really looked that bad. They haven't had to put up a ton of points, but they've been very, like, their offensive line is going to give you trouble. Like, you were already banged up pretty well on the defense. And I think their offensive line, after their crap they had to start the year, they've kind of put it together. The most wins a wildcard team ever won were the 1999 Titans with 13 wins. Yeah. Man. Does the bracket change at all after next week? So are you saying besides the Vikings and Lions, does the bracket change? So I think the Eagles are locked into the 2 seed right now. I guess the only question I have is it Rams or Bucks? So if the Bucks win, I think the Rams are actually like... So Rams and Bucks both play division opponents. Assuming the Rams lose and the Bucks win, they'll both be 4-2 in the division. Tampa Bay has the higher strength of schedule, which I believe at that point would be the tiebreaker, because they both have the same conference. They both have the same conference record at that point too, at 7-5. Yeah, as birdies say, they are the higher seed, and I think that would come down to a strength of schedule thing. Open up. I refuse. I refuse to use machines. But Larry and Jihad, I can figure this out right now. I've got a chart up right in front of me. I've got the playoff chart up in front of me. I don't need no stinking machine. We figured this out just fine without it. But Larry and Jihad right now. Washington gets the 6th seed with a win or a Packers loss. Can we talk about some of them, how like insane it was for the Rams to clinch that playoff? Like all the things that had to happen to get them into the playoffs yesterday, and it was very funny. Lions D came up big in the second half. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Abso-effing-lutely. And really just one player, Kirby Joseph. You're going to need that. You're going to need that for next week, baby. Get ready. The fight of your life. The thing is, Kirby hadn't had a pick in 6 games. Yes, but it's not a thinking machine shapeshifter. The Butlerian Jihad is against thinking machines. I hope we get one more Week 18 chaos next season. Yeah. This has been a fantastic season. A little bit of drama. I know that the NFL has been kind of top-heavy this year, but any year with this kind of Week 18 nonsense is great. It's fantastic. I kind of hate that a lot has been... AI is stupid. Are you all rooting for the Bengals to get into the playoffs? I know that's AFC. I know a lot of you don't want to even think about that right now. But I'm asking you guys to be football fans. You want the Dolphins. Mess, do you want the Dolphins because they're not going to be very strong in the playoffs? Or because you don't want to see the Bengals? Or you just have an affinity to the Dolphins? Your nasty boy says, oh, because the funniest one? Yeah, that would be very... If Tua doesn't play... I mean, Tua's not going to play. So this is... Oh. Dolphins because Burrow is dangerous. I think your nasty boy has the right answer, rooting for anyone who can beat the Chiefs. John Boy had a great article, a great post talking about how, like, in a year where, like, the Bills, Ravens, Lions, and Vikings are all very fun... Any one of them could probably win the Super Bowl, and you'd feel very great about it. It feels like the Chiefs have a chance to do something more evil than any of the New England Patriots teams ever did. And this might finally be the Chiefs' heel turn we've all been thinking about. Because who really wants to see the Chiefs in the playoffs? 28-3 was not evil. There was a point. I get that it's the Patriots, and I get that it's the Falcons on the other side, but I think there was, as someone who watched that game and talked with people, I was in a bowling alley for that game, and I was like on Twitter a lot. There is always a psychic point in a game where a team is choking that hard, like the Falcons did, that the attitude turns against them. It's like, you're just a bunch of sorry losers. We have no sympathy for you. You're losing this game because of your own failures. And that's what happened to the Falcons in that game. There were not a lot of people with sympathy for the Falcons by the end of that game. Oh, I'm terrible at bowling. I don't even remember my score. Alex is the much better bowler. Only Nick Wright. Yeah, only Nick Wright would be happy. That's really about it. Broncos versus Bills, Chargers versus Ravens, Texans, Steelers. Those are your wild card matchups. See, I feel like if you're asking a NFL fan with no affiliations, you want X, your team to get X to help you in the playoffs, I feel like most people are going to be like, I want to see new blood. I'm tired of the Chiefs. And I believe that the Chiefs have been and I, the hypothetical NFL fan, are tired of watching the Chiefs get away with this every week. Any chance the Broncos can beat the Bills? I believe so. The key to the Bills is that their defense isn't very good. Like, Josh Allen's been pretty sweet. But let's not forget, Like the Bills game, for a lot of us, we kind of felt bad because the Lions got 48 points hung on them. But the Bills defense let up 42 points as well. And then that next week, they let the Patriots, who are terrible, put up 21 points. The week prior to the Lions game, you lose to the Rams, 44 points given up. There are certain offenses that the Bills defense just does not know what to do with. I believe the Broncos can beat the Bills. I think the Bengals could maybe beat the Bills. I don't think the AFC is fascinating because I don't think there's a lot of great teams in the AFC. You don't believe the Broncos can beat the KC's second team? Man, that's tough. I think they can, but we'll see. Because it does sound like Chiefs will rest starters, which might be the coffin shutting on the Bengals if that's the case. Bengals have to play the Steelers too, and I know the Steelers have taken 3 losses. They're pissed off, and they have a chance to send their division opponent to the Shadow Realm. I don't think the Steelers are going to be resting starters. And I think Tomlin himself is like, we want to beat the Bengals. Maybe Chiefs would rather Broncos get in than Bengals. I think that would be a bit of a mistake. But that said, it might not be up to them. Steelers might be hungry for that win and want to beat the Bengals. There's still murky water about if Hurts plays Week 18. Yeah, this concussion is kind of bad for the Eagles. Sounds like he's having some complications with it. Now, you are playing the Giants. Yeah, we were just talking about this. Ray, I'm sorry, I can't say this. I can't say your name. I'm sorry. I'm a little skagged out right now. But yeah, no, we were just talking about this. I do think the Bucs are a team I would like to play if the Lions get the 5 seed. I'd rather see the Lions play the Buccaneers than the Rams. Recognize me. Jesus, wow. I feel like I just had my hors d'oeuvres moment where I was trying to pronounce that word. Oh my God. I'm tired. There's a chance Pickett might be starting Eagles' first playoff game if Hurts isn't cleared. I don't know if it would last that long, Lucky. If it would last like a concussion lasts 3 weeks. But I will say this. I don't think Hurts has played particularly well as a quarterback. I think what surprises me about the Eagles, every year with the Eagles, for as good of a team as they have, the vibes around the Philadelphia Eagles always suck. I'm disappointed Lions Vikings isn't Saturday night instead. No, you don't want to see the Lions playing on 5 days rest. Yeah, that's true. Tua's concussions were bad, but Tua also took a lot of them, and he would take them badly, and he kind of give himself up for it. The vibes of the Eagles, just like, I don't understand how this team hates itself so much. Like, you had the drama with Jalen Hurts, and I believe it was A.J. Brown. And then, like, Nick Sirianni is one, like, we had that fight earlier in the season with Nick Sirianni and the fans, and now Nick Sirianni is saying shit to Zach Ertz. I don't understand this team. And the fans around the Eagles just genuinely, even though this team is 13-3, there's quite a few of them that still want Sirianni fired. Like, it's genuinely fascinating to watch. I've never heard of a fan base who sees a team make these playoffs 3 years in a row, have a 13-win season, and, like, the fan base still wants the coach fired. No, I don't think Eagles fans are the worst in sports. I don't think that's true at all. I think they're unhappy. But I think that's also I think that's also the problem of when you have that many expectations sometimes. That the bar is just set so high. I argued this the other day, but I do not have the same hatred of the Philadelphia sports fan as a lot of other people. Because I understand the Philadelphia sports fan is opposed to New York, and thus you have been brainwashed into believing by the New York-based sports media that Philadelphia is an evil, nasty city. Whereas in truth, Philadelphia is a city of the working fan. They stood with the Aramac workers on their strike. They are as far as I am concerned, I've worked with Eagles fans. I've worked with 76ers fans and Phillies fans. Are they rowdy? Sure, whatever. Do they talk about their team a lot? Sure. Everyone does. But they have a lot of fun. And I do love hanging out with them. Now, Cowboys fans, I want nothing to do with. I've hung around Cowboys fans. It's just terrible. And I know you just played them, but San Francisco area sports fans are very conceited and seem to have a problem with stabbing people, especially Giants fans, but also 49ers and Raiders fans too. I think that I hate to do this because I don't know whether fan bases are watching, and I believe there's good people in all stuff. Didn't they boo Santa Claus? Okay, whatever. That's a long time ago. I don't care. I don't know I don't know. They were probably drunk. I don't know what the situation was with the Eagles was that year. I'm sure if the Lions were sucking and suddenly they tried to do a bit with Santa Claus dancing, Lions fans would boo them too. Detroit's a nasty sports town too. They had a jail in their stadium because it was an easy way for them to process drunk. Like it wasn't a jail. It wasn't a jail. It was basically a place where they could easily process drunk and disorderly misdemeanors so that it would take, like, you could get cited there and pay the fines there and just be done with it. Like, so it didn't have to clog up the actual jail and the judge the next morning. Yeah, it was a detox area. Threw batteries at Yankees. Okay, cool. A Yankees fan almost broke Mookie Betts' arm. Every fan base has its warts. I understand the reputation of Philly, but I also understand that Philadelphia's big rival is New York. And let me ask you, who controls most of the sports media in the world? New York. You've been brainwashed, people. Think about it. The worst fan bases are Boston. It's Boston. You can't argue that it's Philadelphia. It's Boston. Boston exists. I hate New York a lot, but it's also because once again, I don't like teams that have a lot of attention to them but have unearned arrogance. And New York is all unearned arrogance. LA fans are just kind of whatever. I mean, LA doesn't have a ton of fans to begin with, but it's kind of like Miami. They just kind of float around. Dodgers fans are real and nasty. Do you come back to Toledo often? We should do a watch party some weekend. A lot of fans here. I know that, Gas Man. I would love to. Actually, that sounds like a fantastic idea. I was just actually back there before our live show. I don't know when I'll be back in Toledo. I will probably be helping my mother move one of these days. I'll have to keep that in mind because I would like to come back to Toledo, and maybe I could, like, you know, if Ye Olde Dirty Bird is still up, I'd love to maybe do a watch party there or something. And I would love to have Chef Kengo's sushi again. Chris just said I need to argue. Yeah, I mean, this is always a fun conversation until you realize Boston still exists. The only thing Boston really doesn't have to hate on them is they don't really have much of a college team. And there are some college fan bases I despise. New York twice. Anyway, it's almost 1 o'clock on the East Coast. You guys are all still here, though. Fantastic. I don't know of any. I don't know. You can't just throw that out there, rage quit, and just kind of without a source or anything. So, let's see here. Shall we see if there's any? I want to see if there's a locker room celly or something. Ooh, I've got a very fun, some very fun stuff. Let's see here. Waymo on the post game.
Jamo, for the first time in franchise history, Detroit is perfect on the road in a season. What makes this group such an elite road warrior squad?
You know, we just focus on coming out every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever day it is, and getting the job done. You know, it's the first time. Hopefully, it's not the last time. Hopefully, we can do it again next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. So, I just say, teams who when we come to y'all stadium, be prepared, because we ain't playing.
Hopefully, this team.
Real quick, Thailand Chief Asset. No, there won't be a. If there is a tie this weekend between Lions and Vikings, Lions would win. Lions basically have the tiebreaker right now because they have the head-to-head over the Vikings, and also the better conference record because their second loss was to a AFC team and not an NFC team like the Vikings.
Team doesn't have to go back on the road for a minute here, including playoffs. But going back to this game, 2 touchdowns for you tonight, including 141 touchdown score off a lateral from Amon-Ra St. Brown. When you hear that play call come in, what did your mind go to?
I ain't even gonna lie to you. The greatest. I'm on the left side, so I check out the sticks. It's third down. I just check out the sticks. I'm really just trying to get the first down. This is probably the first time I ever, first down, just get the first down, not touchdown. I was thinking first down. But once I bent the corner, once he tossed it to me, once I bent the corner, I already knew. Once I seen him take the wrong angle, I just knew I ain't getting caught.
For the first time ever in NFL history, Detroit has 4 playmakers with 1,000-plus scrimmage yards. You're one of them. Yeah. What does this offense do so well to elevate its playmakers?
That's big, man. That's big. Shout out to the mastermind, Ben. He behind all this, man. He spends so much time in his office. I talk to him all the time, and he just let me know what he see all the time, you know. And he just try to spread the ball out as much as possible, and he did that. You know, you just said we got 4,000-yard players on this offense, and that's almost all our skill position. That's probably, what's that, 2 receivers, 1 running back, 2 running backs, and we without a running back. So, you know, we probably get our tight end in there next week or something like. But that's all huge shout out to Ben, man. I respect the work he do and everything, all the work he put in, all the time he put in, all the coaches, not just Ben. You know, I respect all the time they put into this. And, you know, it's just big, and they help us a lot.
Your team didn't have to win this game tonight in order to get a 1 seed next week against Minnesota. Okay, what message did this team send tonight?
You know, this game is over. We focus on next week now. Happy New Year, though.
I love that. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. All right. Where was the other thing? Oh, right. Hook and ladder. This is the hook and ladder breakdown. Let's watch this.
Oh, okay. This is shake and bake. Cover 2. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. He's pressed. You ideally want it off. I said, hold on, let me make this work. Same exact look that I have with Jameer. Outside release, I come back. Jared throws it low. I'm like, as long as I catch this and I find Jamo, it's over. I catch it. I see 9. I'm like, hold on, take it.
He just said once he catch it and he find Jamo, it's over. And that's exactly
And I'm on the
did.
ground like this,
He
touchdown.
caught it,
I already knew.
And he found Jamo, and it was over. You can just, it's self-explanatory. You see, like, once I bend that corner right there,
Bugatti.
More car noises.
What you hit, the Dion? Yeah.
I love the energy on these guys, man. Yeah, we don't need to worry about the troll talk. It's fine. It's fine. Totally fine. All right. It is 1:00 a.m. on the East Coast. It's 10 p.m. in Los Angeles. I do have work in the morning. I believe the postgame podcast should be up on all of your feeds by now. Final questions. Final thoughts. Besides, damn, I love these Lions. They are fun. It's fun to watch this team, and I hope everyone can appreciate that even as the stakes get ratcheted up so damn high. Because, wow. Anzalone should be coming back. We'll talk about that on the POD cast. I have no info on Anzalone. I know Dan Campbell said real soon. I don't know what that means. I don't know when they start his money back next week. I would not hope for it, unfortunately. Anzalone far more likely than Monty. And everyone would like Monty very soon. Take your time. There's no rush. How much do we panic if the Vikings win next week and no bye? My panic's at maybe a 2. And I think a lot of that shapeshifter is because of what we just talked about on who you would be playing as the 5 seed. Either the Rams or Tampa. Now, the Rams, you've beaten once before. I think you can deal with them. But I think they're a very tough out. But if you play Tampa, I would certainly like to play Tampa. No Antoine Winfield Jr. I'd like to play Tampa. Will there be a late stream when we sweep the Vikes Sunday night? Yes. There will be a stream Sunday night. There will. I'll try to do some therapy if the Lions lose too. But we're going to hope for the win. Because we hope for better things and they will rise from the ashes. Thank you, Thailand. I appreciate chatting with you. You've been actually pretty good for the audience. I know I'm not over on YouTube too much just because we're streaming on Twitch a lot and that's where our active audience tends to be, but I've appreciated these talks. Anyway, guys, I'm going to log off. I've got to take care of Ruby, who I've been ignoring for all of today. Great win. See you on Sunday, or see you tomorrow for POD Cast. Sunday for the game. Go Loins.